Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney, I guess. We're gonna talk about Disney, kind of where they're at right now. And it seems like they're not listening to people very well.
Oh, shocker.
Disney has been blasted over the last year or two for pushing DEI initiatives, and a lot of conservatives especially are like, hey, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Now, just as their reputation with conservatives is on the rebound, they drop more news, right? That they're still doing the DEI thing.
Well, they didn't drop news. They just put this post out. It was like, yeah, this is from sites.disney.com. It's a disney.com entry, and they just for inspiring diversity advocates from the UK and EMEA. Look, I have nothing against people being diverse and working and stuff. I think given current year and the way things are going, I think they could just be like, hey, meet these four interesting people working at our companies. But they don't. They make it all about, look at our diversity advocates to create magical storytelling and contribute to every project. Well, you should have diverse people working at your company. If you don't, you're an asshole. But the thing is, I just don't understand why it takes a whole article needing to be put out about the diversity advocates.
The diversity advocates. So let's talk about this, because it seems like they're saying one thing and doing something else. And again, you can hire diverse people. Disney has always hired diverse people. They just didn't make it a selling point.
Well, what gets me too is how these people weren't hired because they were diverse. I wouldn't think, but who knows? But that makes it look that way. If I were these people, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, I was hired because I was qualified, not because I happened to be whatever.
Well, this person down here is what they flat out said. They said Disney inspires and touches diverse people and communities all over the world, and with the DEI commitment, these fans feel represented, heard, and included.
There you go. Yep.
So I think they're just kind of doing it on the down low.
It's not down low. It was on the news, Disney.com.
It doesn't seem like it's being broadcasted as much,
This is like the opposite. It's like you have anti-help, not just for the company, but for these people. It's going to look really bad for them, because it's just like you're using it as a way of saying these are diversity advocates, and it implies that they're hired because they're diverse, not because they're qualified. So you're actually doing more damage.
Yeah. So let's talk about this, because they really they got to get their messaging together, because this is right after Bob Iger said it's not Disney's job to advance any kind of agenda. And people were wondering if they weren't going to walk things back, and conservatives were kind of starting to slowly trust them again. And, this is after John Musker came out and said that, they've gotten away from the core of what they should be doing, which is telling, diverse stories, stories with a message without.
Good stories, good characters, and the message is somewhere hidden in there. But the good stories and the good characters should be first and at the forefront of everything.
Right.
Well, and they might, and that does not mean it has to be white people that are the good characters. I'm just saying that you need to have good characters who happen to be diverse, not diversity. And then that's exactly how they led the other article. Here's a Disney diversity advocates. You could have just said, here are four people working in different aspects of the company doing different things. Look how cool what their jobs are. But no. Diversity inclusion.
So Disney has learned nothing. That might actually be the title of the video.
Disney learned nothing.
Disney has learned nothing.
It's insulting people who are diverse too, because it's going to make people think they're hired for diversity reasons, not because they're qualified. It's really stupid, and you shouldn't be doing it.
Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to Indiegogo, back Shadowbinders Volume 3. You also have a chance to pick up 1 and 2. Again, we're going to reprint those books again for the second time. So thank you very much for being awesome. And this is interesting because, we had the director of The Little Mermaid just a couple days ago calling Disney out for putting agenda above characters, above, good storytelling. Like, again, you can hide the pill in the ice cream. You can tell a good story with a moral and have it be, feature diverse characters. Disney's always done that. But, they've gotten very ham-fisted in recent years. And we had Bob Iger saying that they were going to walk it back a little bit, that they're not going to advance any kind of agenda. It seemed like they were, frankly, canceling projects and firing people that were sort of agenda first. But then we have kind of some of the, I think the suspected replacements for Bob Iger.
Oh, yeah.
and that are.
Oh, it's gonna be Dana Walden or Walden. Yeah, it's gonna be her. I guarantee it.
And Dana Walden wasn't she the one who said that she actually wouldn't greenlight shows that didn't feature?
Yeah, because they're mandates. She was one of the ones behind the mandates. She's the only one among them that's a woman, and it's gonna be her because tits.
If they hire her, this company is done. I'm gonna
to be fair though, like when there was problems at ABC, she stepped in and took care of it and got it taken care of. So
I'm just saying, like any hope that you had for Disney to rein in the politics, it's over at that point because again, she is the one who said we would not greenlight shows that were fantastic shows because we did not have the right racial or sexuality makeup or whatever. The characters, it had to be 50% not white straight characters.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with the DEI stuff because the takeaway, it's a very slippery slope and it's a very dangerous thing because when you're making decisions based on, agenda purposes, agenda things, instead of qualifications, or even if you're just presenting it that way and that's not what the decision was, it's actually harmful to the people that you're saying you hired, like the people that are showcased in that article. It's going to be more harmful to them because you're asking what their thoughts on DEI are and you're making it all about diversity advocates instead of like, hey, here's my criteria, here's my background, I was very qualified for this, I'm really happy to be here. No, it's about representation matters and why it's really powerful.
Yeah, all of this is all about representation matters.
And the thing is, people are going to see that and they're going to be like, were you hired? It's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair, but they're going to look at that and be like, were you hired because you were qualified or were you hired because you were a checkbox? And I would hate to be these people because you already get shit to begin with, and now you're going to get extra shit because Disney's putting a spotlight on it instead of spotlighting what you actually bring to the table and what your background is and what your qualifications are. It's how diverse are you, so we can say we pat ourselves on the back, and that's not helping them. It's not helping the whole issue across the board, and it's not fair because people keep equating it to being a DI means you're unqualified, and that's also not true, and I don't think it's fair.
But we have these people, and this is an HR advisor, and this is kind of where ground zero is for a lot of this. A lot of times is with the HR people.
Oh, but you need to see the HR person's first paragraph.
Yeah, I felt incredibly supported throughout my employee journey, she said. I discovered I'm neurodivergent at one point in my career. My team were so supportive and encouraging. Generally speaking, everyone I work with is incredibly friendly and professional.
Okay.
That's fine.
What I'm seeing here is, but I'm leading with I'm not me. I'm neurodivergent me. Like, it's like, that's the problem. You latch on to these identifiers and it's like, hi, I'm just me. And here's my, I might happen
leading
to be
with my, whatever. Yes. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Kneon Divergent.
Kneon Divergent. Okay.
I am. Prioritizing diversity and inclusion is categorical for the future success of the business on so many levels. For the people that work there, for the products we make, for everything, people won't want to work for an organization that hasn't changed with the times and that isn't nurturing diverse talent, whatever diversity looks like in those respective areas.
Or maybe people have been hiring diverse people for years and it was just because they were qualified and good at their job and wasn't because they had to make a big deal about doing it. Because I can tell you for years, people were hired across the board, different races, different genders, different sexual orientations, and it didn't fucking matter because you were hired because you were good at your job.
Yeah. And Disney always hired the best, for the longest time.
Right.
They always hired the best.
They weren't all white straight dudes. But the thing is, it's like, this is actually anti-help for these people, Disney.
Yeah. So this is coming from Axios. Now, this is a Harris reputation score poll. So, take it for what you will. But
we talked about this last year when it dropped. Yeah.
So their reputation among conservatives, among Republicans was like at the freaking floor last year because of the Don't Say Gay drama, right? They said, why does this matter? Unlike Target and Anheuser-Busch, which also found themselves embroiled in modern culture wars around sexual orientation and trans rights, Disney's overall reputation score saw an uptick in the last year. I will tell you why I think that is. I think it's because they honestly thought Nelson Peltz was going to come in. Until recently, they thought Nelson Peltz was going to come in.
Probably.
And he was going to bring Jay Rizzullo, and they were going to be like, let's go back to what Disney used to be, which is making hits and putting entertainment first and leaving politics by the wayside.
Which is why Iger was making the comments Iger was making. And now nothing changed, and it's clearly going back to what they were doing before. Yeah. And it's not helpful as you think it is.
No. Yeah, they said that they're talking about, by the numbers, their reputation score fell during the Trump administration a little bit, probably because their people were out there making a lot of comments during the Trump administration.
Slightly it fell during the Trump administration.
Slightly, but then it bottomed out.
DeSantis is when it bottomed out.
Yes. Disney's recovery among Republicans is notable given how polarizing the firm remains. Disney has the fourth largest political skew toward Democrats of all companies.
But here's the thing. When I say a couple things here. One about the drop with the Trump or whatever. There's a couple reasons. One, they had the whole president's fiasco and all that. Because basically, I'm sorry, no matter how it looks like it was Hillary Clinton and they just repurposed it initially. But you had Disney also saying, if you don't agree to, well, that was after Trump, I guess, at the end. If you don't agree to, all these people to make sure Biden was whatever they had to do, confirm him, that they were going to take their funding away from people. But I guess it was after Trump. But yeah, Democrats have, because Disney has been highly political, leading to the Democrat side for years under Iger, because he thought in himself a nice, cushy, ambassadorship, or he wanted to run for president.
So this is what's funny about this. They said that they're the fourth most Democrat skewing organization out there now. Target, Anheuser-Busch, which is Bud Light, and Pfizer are ahead of Disney, but Disney's definitely in the top 5 of Democrat leaning. So ironic given Walt Disney's own personal politics.
But it doesn't matter, because Bob Iger's far left, and that's what matters.
That's exactly what it is.
And their board has been far. The reason they got in some of the trouble they got into, because I guess Chapek wanted to try to tone down the political stuff, and then Susan Arnold, who is herself is LGBTQ, wanted to show DeSantis, and she's no longer there.
Yeah.
But, look, I think people are coming back to Disney for some reasons. I don't know exactly why. I think you might be right, because I can't think of any other reason why they suddenly changed their opinion. But what Disney's putting out is not making people think that they're going to try to be different. Like, they're going to try to take it back to center. They're going to try to make everybody, as many people as happy, the majority happy. And now they're just like, nope. We're going to double down.
Yep. So these are the companies that are actually viewed as being nonpartisan. They're the ones that actually stay out of politics. And, I'm not sure how this is affecting negatively or whatever, positively or negatively their bottom line. But Shein.
Well, Shein's not even from America.
No. So yeah, Burger King, Chipotle, BP, Volkswagen.
Again, not American.
Yeah, Walgreens. Yeah, I'm sensing a pattern here, right? Yeah. Royal Dutch Shell, Pizza Hut, Best Buy, Netflix. Netflix is actually viewed as...
and Netflix is kicking Disney's ass.
And they're kicking their ass. Lululemon, is that still around? UPS, PayPal, which is weird because PayPal, there was some drama around.
GM,
Aldi, again, not from this company or country. Procter & Gamble, Novo Nordisk, and Sony. Sony? No, Sony Electronics.
Sony bullshit.
I think Sony Electronics is different than Sony video games. I think that's like Sony as a company, as a movie studio, as the company that makes television sets. That's one thing. Sony Computer Entertainment is definitely way further left. But it's really interesting. They said that companies that are seen as being right wing are companies like the Trump Organization. The Trump Organization is right wing. Oh my God, Fox News is right wing, and now they're saying X because of Elon Musk.
Yeah, but when Elon Musk wasn't there, and it was definitely skewing far, far left, it wasn't. People were just making that up.
They said that in response, CEO appetite for commenting on these external matters has waned. Basically,
because it bites you in the ass.
It bites you in the ass. And I'm sorry, I do believe that the reason that Disney's reputation improved was because of the potential for them to change it up the board. It'll be really interesting to see where they're at a year from now if they don't course correct majorly.
But they're like, case in point, of the 8 nonpartisan companies with good reputations, all commented, made pledges, or donated to diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives following the murder of George Floyd in 2020. Yeah, because you had to.
Yeah, in 2020. But then they said, only 2 made public statements about Roe v. Wade and the attacks in Israel in 2023 because they learned. I think they learned, like, damn, we make a statement, we're going to piss off. We might make half of our audience very, very happy, but we run the risk of making the other half very, very angry. So, which way are we going to go? And right now, with the economy being the way it's going, with the economy being in the gutter right now, you have to make money.
See, I just think this whole DEI thing actually just hurts the people you're supposed to be protecting is what it does, because you keep pushing it, and then people are going to question, are you hired because you're legit or hired? And I mean, it's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair because I don't think it's right. I'm just saying that it does bite them in the ass. And so Disney's answer is to put out the diversity advocate post.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't they just be talking about them for their qualifications? No, these are the diversity advocates.
Yeah, I think they're still going to do this kind of stuff. I think they're going to try to sneak it through. But I mean, this is also this is more like overseas and stuff too. But you gotta remember, like, Disney's a big company, and the problem is once you have that mindset embedded into the company, it's very, very hard to change things. It's very hard to change things. But usually, what changes it faster than not is the money running out.
Money, yeah.
When the money runs out, it's survival of the most qualified. And if that person happens to be a brown-skinned lesbian in a wheelchair, that's the most qualified person, fantastic.
Then they should get the job. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's what's not helpful, because they're not focusing on, like, oh, you're an HR business partner. Like, what? Tell me what you bring to the table. Well, my uniqueness and accepted in my own skin. I'm like, that's not what. No.
Skill set.
What skills do you have?
What skills do you have?
This is not helping. This is not fixing the problem. This is not actually fair to these people. I'm just saying. Yep. Anyway.
So there we go, guys. Disney has learned nothing. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So
especially not since they won. They were all wanting to talk, we're going to make changes, when they thought there was going to be a board battle. But now nothing's going to change.
Yeah, because this was on April 3rd. Oh, we're not trying to advance any kind of agenda. Hot damn, we
what was that day before the vote? That was the day before the vote.
Day before the vote. We're not trying to advance an agenda. It's like, no, nothing has changed. They've learned nothing. We're going to see the same kinds of movies. We're going to see the same kinds of stuff in the theme parks. It might be a little more hush-hush about it, but nothing is going to change. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.